What up, Dovefish Nation? So yeah, I am making a video that is, well, extremely over fucking due. Yeah, you'll remember my 3 attempts at Q&A. Very few questions. So yeah, originally I was going to try and do an animation for it. Yeah, you can see that bummed because I'm making it recorded. Yeah, this thing's fucking slow, and it didn't want to record correctly for the audio. Yeah, the microphone wouldn't connect properly, and there's no change in settings. I had Audacity set to record through the microphone externally. No, it recorded through the camera audio. So, yeah, I'm going to have to work with that. Now, I've got my laptop set up here. So, yeah, I got that sorted. Because on here I've got a document for the Q&A, so let me just open that. Okay, so here's the way I did it. One person, 2 questions, that's the way it worked. But the last one, last person on the list, he gave me 3 because one person asked me to check their account. Yeah, that's not a question. That's a request. I'm sorry, but in order for it to question, you have to actually ask something. Not ask them to look at your account. That does not qualify for a Q&A. Sorry, but that's just the way it works. Okay, first 2 questions are from user Xylem 980. They have an X at the beginning of the name, and I've always had X as Z in that position, so it, like a xenomorph, it begins with an X but it sounds like a Z, so that's why I'm doing it. So Xylem 980, their first question is, for your YouTube channel, are you ever interested in making reviews on shows or games? Well, I've got an answer written down here, so let me just read through it. Well, you guys know I've spoken about reviews every now and then. I've spoken about film reviews, maybe book reviews, because I've got a bunch of manga, I've got some stories. Heck, I've got the Aragon series. I've got a bunch of films. I've got toys. I'm a toy collector. Come on, people, I'm a toy collector. Again, all my room is dedicated to toys. Heck, I got one of my best figures. A lot of people hate this guy, but I love him because I got him at my first convention. I've been hunting for this guy for years. Paid £6 for him. He's average 18. So, yeah. I will be doing reviews. It's just that, well, look at what I have to work with. There is nowhere for me to actually do anything in this room. Heck, if I managed, I could clear that, but then I'd have to do it each time. So, that's not really possible at the moment. And film reviews, I still need someone to sit down and record. So, yeah. But I know what the first film I'm going to be reviewing is. When I can get to it, it's going to be Kamen Rider Double, Memories of Fate A to Z. I'll rephrase that. It is Kamen Rider Double, A to Z, Memories of Fate. In other words, it's the film where Eternal comes into it. That's going to be the first film review. So, that's already set in stone. I've already started working on the script for it. I was going to do it unscripted just because first review, so, but no, I want to do it professionally. So, now, question 2. What do you think about crossover games? If you came across one that looks different, would you try it? Well, let's see here. First off, I'm okay with crossover games. It just, Okay, here's the way it works. It doesn't matter whether I like a game or not. It comes down to this. I have to be able to play it. Yeah. So, think of it like this. I have an Xbox 360. I have Nintendo game systems. I have 2DS. I got the Game Boy. I got the Game Boy Color. I got the Game Boy Advance SP. I got the DS Lite. We have a Wii. Those are what we have. But if someone gave me a gift of a PlayStation game, I wouldn't be able to play it. Because I don't have anything that could play a PlayStation. I don't have the PlayStation 1, I don't have the PlayStation 2, I don't have the fucked up PlayStation 3, and I do not ever want that messed up hunk of junk that is the PlayStation 4. So, I am unable to play select games. But there's also the factor of, even if I had the console, there's still the factor I would not be able to play it. Now, the way my hands work, they are used to side-scrollers, fighting games, racing, and flying. When it comes to racing games, 2 goes. 1, just so I can get the controls. I'll crash a few times. I'll get 5th place. 2nd go, I beat people. When it comes to a racing game, I excel at it. It's always been, 1st go, get the controls. 2nd go, you lose. That's the way it works. So, games like Resident Evil, won't be able to play it. Five Nights. Yeah, played both of those games. I don't ever want to play them again. And when number 3 comes out, I do not want to play that either. Yeah. Basically, it's being able to play it. Potato.
Banana.
I'm doing a video. Yeah. As normal, that is one of my family members, and they're wearing a hat. So yeah, that's question 2. Now, for question 1 from another user. They are... Wow, it's a strange name to be honest. No offense, but I don't think I can say that as a name. It's just letters and numbers. So, give me a moment here. User QSQ124. How does that clarify as a username? No offense, but how does someone remember that? Really? How? I know my username can be kind of tricky, wolf-night-1. I know a lot of people confuse the hyphen with underscore, but at least after a short while you get used to it. But that, I've actually tried typing that out, it's not that easy. Their first question. Why Twinkie Time? I'm curious as to how that came about. Oh, you're gonna love this. Oh, I get asked this so many times. In real life, actually, I get asked this over Skype, in college, even my dad. But here's the way it works. This is what happened. Ever since BF vs JF, or PvP, or Prank vs Prank, did their cookie dance video, I've been on a kick. And that was last year they uploaded that, and it's still freaking popular. I've yet to actually hear it be played on the radio in the UK, even though you can hear it in USA. But yeah, ever since that I've been on a kick for dancing. So, here's what happened. One day I was in the main living room with watching TV with my dad. We were watching Town Called Eureka. It's one of the few shows we enjoy watching together because you actually learn science and maths through it, quite a bit of physics and stuff like that. But it's funny. The antics that happen are insane, and people actually do die in it. So yeah, if you ever get the chance to watch Town Called Eureka, I highly suggest you do, because it's a really good show. We've got the entire series recorded, actually, series 1 to 5, and the specials. So yeah. Now, here's what happened. I left the room to go to the kitchen to get something to eat. During that time, my sister went into the living room. She went to sit down. Now, when I was in the kitchen, I noticed we had Twinkies. Because, well, the other day we bought a box of them. I grabbed one, went back to the living room, and said, "It's Twinkie time." I opened it, started eating it, and danced. So, yeah. Basically, that right there is the origin of Twinkie time. And from then on, I have been using Twinkie time in my videos. So, yeah. Whenever I say, "It's Twinkie time," you know I'm going to do something a little bit goofy. So I'm going to, 1, say it's Twinkie time. 2, eat a Twinkie. And 3, while eating the Twinkie, I'm going to dance. So, that is the reasoning for the Twinkie time. So, that is finally explained. And if anyone else asks, I'm just going to say, why? Why the fuck not? Because, come on, who doesn't like a Twinkie? Well, other than people in this country. Now, their second question. This one is actually kind of stupid. Now, here's what they asked. Also, are Transformers a slight against God? Who the fuck gives a shit about God? Okay, seriously, here's why I see it. When it comes to religion, you don't give a shit. Seriously, you don't. You're just following. You're not doing. So, when you're worshipping, you're basically just doing nothing. I'm sorry, but without definitive evidence that the big old guy with the beard in the sky exists, I'm gonna keep bashing Christianity or any religion as much as I like. I'm not being offensive to any individual people, I'm being offensive to the religion itself. So, you can take offense, but I'm not being offensive to you. I'm being offensive to the religion, so therefore it has nothing to do with you. So saying, are Transformers a slight against God? Again, who the fuck cares? Also, just so you know, we are a slight against God. Beat that. Oh, but that means I'm human. Oh, no. This mother trucker ain't no human. You guys, on the other hand, you're the slights against God. I just kill him. So, yeah, that was their second question. So, sorry if you take offence to that, but it's not really offensive. So I'm allowed to say it. Now, the next person to ask is user MTN hyphen, not underscore, hyphen, one in the middle, Dulad 420. It's a mouthful, to be honest. Their first question is, do you have any friends in real life who are into the same things as you, like anime and Transformers? Well, actually, yes. Surprisingly enough, I actually have friends. Yeah, beat that joke into your skulls. So, yeah, people watching this are probably wondering, wait, he actually has friends? Yeah, that's pretty much the way it works in this country. So, here's the thing. I do have friends who like anime and Transformers. I even actually have a friend named Martin who still likes Power Rangers. He grew up with it, and funny enough, at one point, wearing one of the morphers actually saved his life. Yeah, he got into a fight one day, and two guys attacked him. One of them had a bat, put his arm up with the morpher on, and the morpher actually saved his life. So, yeah. That's something. Funny enough, that exact morpher, the Storm morpher he had, that one is actually very highly stress tested. They did a lot of stress testing that when it was first made, so yeah, I can understand if that saved his life, because especially that thing is thick plastic. So yeah, he likes Power Rangers, and we get into quite a few conversations about the toys, the shows, the actors. Some of it is hard to understand at first, but you get used to it. It's really enjoyable. For anime, heck, just talk to anyone really. Literally, you can find an anime fan anywhere, mainly in the library, because there's quite a few manga there. You'd be surprised. Heck, we even have a manga club. Well, at the moment it's on hiatus because the one running it is one of the librarians, and she's having a baby, so she's still in work, but we're unable to have the club on at the moment, so there's that. But for Transformers, heck, I can talk to anyone really about that. Yeah, I can pretty much talk to anyone about it. I've already explained to them how it all works. And quite a few of them actually do already know some information about Transformers beforehand. Now, their next question, this is the guy who asked me to look at their page. I'm sorry, but it's not a question. Now, oh, here comes the good stuff. This is from my friend. This is from my friend Vivisectum 129, or as I know him as Anarchy, brother. No, we're not actually related. I just call him Anarchy. It winds him up. It's funny. It's just a running gag we have. His usual nickname is Visai. Capital V, lowercase I, hyphen, capital S, lowercase I, so Visai. So that's easier to remember than Viversecrum. He asks, let's see here. Yeah. He asks, what is DX's greatest weapon? Okay, here's how it works. DX's greatest weapon. Well, there are two meanings to that. There would be a weapon that he carries, as in blade, gun, dagger, or something like that. But there's also the definition of weapon as in himself, since DX was created as a weapon of death and destruction for war. He also classes as the weapon. So, I'll answer this twice. The first meaning of weapon would be the weapon he carries. Now, he has 3 spirit weapons. One being one of his children, Skellig, the spirit within the sword, or Ghost of the Blade. She is a skeletal entity. Long story short, she was corrupt. He had to kill her in order to release her soul, but she was unable to pass on. So he sealed her soul within his sword, allowing her to take physical form, but also help in fight. If you've watched Bleach and Shaman King, combine those two. She is a guardian ghost, so she can perform spirit unity and the into weapon ability. So he has Furyoku. Her Shikai, second form, actually has a Retsu, Reishi, or spiritual pressure meter, which tells you how much power he has left for using her. But it's also a gauge to tell you how much power you need. I have to keep checking the door just in case someone is listening. So basically, that's the first weapon. The second weapon is Zin. Zin. Okay, this one actually does need quite a bit of explaining. Those of you who've played Monster Hunters will know about the big freaking Thunder Wolf, the Zinogre. Yeah, or as in Japan, the Zinogre. Now, here's the thing. I don't like Monster Hunter. I don't like the concept of it, because you're basically just going after an innocent creature and killing it and taking its parts for armor and weaponry. Here's the thing. At one point in DX's storyline, he is accidentally sent to the planet or world they're set in. He encounters a gigantic Zinogre, one that is being hunted simply because it is twice the size of a normal Zinogre, and that's huge, and it's pink. So a lot of female hunters want it because of the colour. This is what DX did. He stopped the hunters, he literally just stood in front of them and knocked them all out. And here's what he did. In order to protect her, he turned her into a spiritual entity. Zin, being female, he was capable of turning her into a spiritual form. So, her body is formed through light, spiritual energy, and simple power. Her spiritual weapon are two dagger blades. They're sort of like the two swords that you get when you build armor from a Zinogre. But these are half the size, but when she performs Spirit Unity, or the Furyoku, the blades grow bigger. So she becomes a lot more powerful and even gives DX the ability to fly. Now, the third meaning for weapon, or physical weapon, would be Azarath, the Eye of Azarath. Now, if you go back through my videos, you will find a video entitled Bowblade. Yeah, the idea of that is from the Bowblade from Final Fantasy XIII-2. The sword that splits in half and turns into a bow and arrow. The idea of my Bowblade is for Nerf, but I wanted it also to tie into DX. So, I created Azarath. Her backstory is, she's from an ancient world known as Azarath. She is named after the world. She was a princess there. Unfortunately, a dark wizard came to her castle and corrupted her, causing her to change from her normal young self into a gigantic behemoth, her true draconic form. Yeah, all Azarathians take on a dragon form, but their true bodies are sealed within themselves. So every Azarathian has a unique form. You'll find some that are similar, but there are very minor differences, like claw length, body type, height, powers, speed, when they do things, how they do things, what they actually say or do, stuff like that. There are minute differences. Here's what happened. Her soul was sealed within a blade, the bow blade. Here's the funny part. Her soul was actually cast down into a crevice where demons are held. It's a prison. They can't rise up because it's too high, but they drop down. The sword was crafted by one of DX's sons, Magnus, who is an engineer. But he wanted to try his hand at crafting, so he created the bow blade, his first craft, his first weapon. But this is what happened. When DX entered the crevice, the sword shone as soon as it was finished. As soon as Magnus hit it for the last time with the hammer, it shone and just flew out the window. There was a small sonic boom at the end of it and just pushed it. It went through a warp gate and ended up in the crevice, Azarath's soul being sucked into it. But it also gave her a physical state, gave her back her normal body. Now she works with DX because here's the problem. In order for Azarath to actually live, she needs life energy. DX being Warforged, he's not exactly alive. So he's a cyborg, so that's the way that works. So he's physically the only one who can wield an Azarathian blade. But here's the awesome part. His 3 weapons can possess him, along with another entity known as Merloch, the Shadow. Here's the way it works. Skellig takes control of the right hand, with DX being right-handed and her sword is held on the left. Zin controls the left hand, since her blades are held on the right. Azarath is given priority to control the body. Basically, if DX is unconscious, she takes priority. She's able to manipulate the body. So she controls the actual movement of the legs and the tail and wings, unless Merloch takes control over the head. That's when the wings turn into a shroud. So that then becomes a weapon itself. They all merge with DX and become a monster. Now, here's the second definition for weapon. Gunborn. This one I've mentioned quite a few times. Now, those of you who've looked at my 3D models will see one entitled White Geo Rise Greymon. Now, the Rise Greymon unit, that was the idea for gunform. The giant revolver cannon on the arm. When I first saw Digimon Data Squad and Digimon Sabers, I loved Geo Greymon, I loved Rise Greymon. I didn't really like Shining Greymon, but I like his black variant. But it's Geo Greymon and the Rise Greymon. I always knew Rise Greymon as Geo Metal Greymon, because come on, Geo Greymon, Geo Metal Greymon, that would be kind of cool. But it's Rise Greymon, so I've always wanted my own version. So I created White Geo. White Geo is basically one that is corrupt data. Think of it like this. You have Machine Dramon, then you have High Machine Dramon, then you have Chaos Dramon. Chaos Dramon and Machine Dramon use the exact same body, except with Chaos Dramon, its armor is crimson red, blood red really. It has a horn, it has eyes, and its under body is red circuitry. It's an evolved version, but more corrupt. That's basically what happened to White Geo. She had one cannon on to start off with, but it was ripped off by a foe, and so was her other arm. She was cast off into a snowy region where her body froze. Over time, her body started to warm up again, but retained the white coloration. That's why she looks snowish. Her data was then corrupt due to a virus type helping her. This virus type being Ice Devimon. They were capable of reviving her arms, but unfortunately the left arm was the first one and therefore mirrored onto the right side. She got used to using two cannon arms and got used to using her tail and her mouth to pick things up. And since living in the ice region, she actually grew quite a bit. So she is twice the size of a normal Rice Greymon, but she is actually weaker. Due to her being in the ice region, she is weaker against fire type attacks. She uses ice-based attacks and electricity, which is not that useful against fire. Now, gun form was based upon the concept of the two guns. With gun form, DX does this. His visor splits in half, cannon forms right here between the forehead. Cannon comes out the mouth, chest splits open, cannon comes out. Arms, cannon. Shoulders, folds back, missile launcher. The back, the wings fold away, 3 giant cannons come out. 2 that go over the shoulder, 1 that points back. Tail, turns a mechanical tail. Segments, each one episode to release 3 missiles. 1 segment, 3 missiles per side. 12 missiles in all on 1 segment. It has over 12 segments. On the tip of the tail, a drill, splits into 4 sides, releases a laser. But the laser can also split again into 3 separate tails. So one tail can be directly in front, another can be split to the side and split to the side. His knees fold out to release giant cannons that come from his thigh. His toes, they'll become cannons. Pretty much everything on him becomes a cannon, missile launcher, or blaster. Hence, gun form. And in gun form, it does not care. So, it genuinely does not care. Yeah, think Equinox, but instead of the ravenous appetite, gun form, it just attacks anything. And its evolved state, berserk form, that's even worse. It has less cannons, still retains the cannon on the chest, in the mouth, forehead, 2 on the arms, the tail, and 2 on the shoulders, on the back. But it's colder. It chooses one prey in particular. It hunts them down and takes them into a public area and rips them limb from limb, taking their blood and using it for power, even writing down how many it has killed and who its next target is. One time it has gone 1,000 years hunting its prey, later to find out that the prey died. Here's what they did. Resurrected it and killed it again, over and over, to make up for the time lost. That's berserk form. That's how monstrous it is. That is DX's weapon. Now, Vice's next question is asking about the PETs and how they work. PETs, or PET system, they're not like the Mega Man PET system. No, not like that. These function quite like a Gaia memory. But for this, they don't change your entire body. They just make you more powerful. Depending on its element, depends on what it does. Basically, it will alter your body a little bit. You'll still look like you, but you'll gain features that add to it. With water, you'll gain gills and claws. With fire, you'll gain red skin and the ability to shoot fire from your hands and mouth. With earth, your skin will turn brown and red, because it'll be stone and metal. Depending on the element, depends on the effect. But there's one effect that they all carry. They make you unable to speak. Basically, you're reduced to basic grunts, growls, roars, and squeaks. The only way you're able to talk is through telepathy or writing. That's it. You can't even gesture because your hands are, well, they're not fit for it. Only one of my characters is capable of utilizing the effects, but also counteracting the speaking glitch. And that's Silas, the saber-toothed tiger shark character of mine. She's able to use any of the PETs, and she can still speak. Perfectly fine, in fact. The only character who cannot use PETs is DX himself. They have absolutely no effect on him. He has tried using the darkness one, jabbed it into skin. Nothing. Doesn't do anything.
See, you was faster kid than you did it. Yeah, well, wait. Oh, come on, let's go. Go for a hug.
Hi.
Harry said to me to tell you to bring your box in for her.
Okay, fair enough.
Right.
Understood. Okay, well, that's some good news. Harry's got money. Good. Means I can sell my cards. Means I get an extra 150. Boom. Okay. Now, the next question here. Let's see. These are from my friend Jim, or Seth, as we call him. Jim King / Seth. He's a friend of mine who likes playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic, and I can talk to him about Mecha. I can actually talk to him about Transformers and Gao Gaigar. He knows what I'm talking about for once. These are the questions he's asked. What sort of plans have you for the future? What is your dream job? Well, here's the thing. With no actual skills, like cooking, writing, stuff like that, I can't do much. I'm bad at math, bad at English. Well, I can write stories to a degree. I can write stories to a degree. I can tell them perfectly fine. I can give ambience. I just can't type it. With maths, I can do algebra. Heck, if you set sums out in algebra, I can do them easy. Set them out as numbers, can't do it. What I'm good at is designing. This sort of thing. I just draw. I design creatures, I design vehicles, I design weaponry. I design monsters. That's what I do. That's the only skill I really have. So, if I could get a job where I can design things, then that would be perfect. Just designing random stuff. That would be wonderful. Now, give me one moment, I need to get the charging lead. Yeah, sorry. Unfortunately, my laptop has a very short battery, and yeah, as you can tell in my room, I don't have much space, so I wasn't able to bring this in beforehand. Give me one moment. Okay, we're back in business. Now, next question he put, if you could add one toy or figure to your collection, what would you pick? Well, I already have my Holy Grail. I already have Snaptrap. I have the original G1 Snaptrap, and I have that knockoff. Still ain't touching him. So, I already have my Holy Grail. The only other figure I would even consider adding to my collection, if I was only able to pick that, would be Genesis Gao Gaigar, the CM Cult version, the transforming one. Either the big one or the small one. Here's the thing. Genesis Gao Gaigar is the one that inspired my Gao Ryuga project. Since Gao Gaigar is done by Sunrise, and Gundam is done by Sunrise as well, I thought, that's an idea. A Gundam Gao Gaigar crossover. So here's what I started doing. I started working on my own custom Gao Gaigar. Came up with the first name, Gao Saigar, which wasn't very good. Then I had Gao Daigar, which I relegated to a side concept. Then I had Gao Rygar. Gao Rygar being for Necros, a upgraded version of Gao Figar. But from the name Rygar, I got to Gao Ryuga. Originally it was Gao Ryuger, so it was Ryu then Ger. But then I got to Gao Ryuga. So that was the idea behind that. So if I could add any one figure to my collection, it would be Genesis Gao Gaigar. As long as it was a transforming one. Like, even the little model kit I wouldn't mind having, because it's a model kit and I love building things. Okay, now on to the last question. What are your top 10 anime? If not 10, then 5. Okay. This, you're gonna have to wait. You really are gonna have to wait, because I've actually been planning out the list for quite some time now. I have watched so much anime. I've got anime right here, I've got manga of anime here, I've got anime right there. I've got I've got an account on my anime list. I've got nearly 100 different animes I've got to add to that list. So yeah, I've got anime galore to go through, and I will have to watch through them all again. I will say this. These are the anime that I'm not having on the list. Code Geass, I'm just going to get that out of the way. This is also going to correspond to my top 10 mecha list. It's not a mecha anime. No matter what way you look at it, it's not a mecha anime. It doesn't focus on the mecha. They're just an afterthought. Just like Ghost in the Shell. People class it as a mecha anime simply because it has robots. I'm sorry, but that's not the way it works. In order for it to be a mecha anime, it must focus half of the actual story on the mecha, which is why Gundam is classed as a mecha anime, because it revolves around the actual suits. There is a story that diverts from the suits, but it is based on the robots. Ghost in the Shell, sure, it has robots in there and they're really cool, but they're just not focused on. They have their own little segments, the Tachikoma, but it's not a mecha anime. It's an anime with mecha in it. Like Digimon, they have robot Digimon, like Metal Greymon, Machine Dramon, Metal Greymon from the other series, Sparrowmon, Andromon, High Andromon, stuff like that. They're machines, and they're mechanical, and they are classed as mecha. That doesn't make Digimon a mecha anime. Even Pokemon with all Team Rocket's jokes and gags has quite a few of cool mecha in it. They're not classed as a mecha anime. The same with Code Geass. If anything, it is a crime, philosophical, psychological, and sci-fi anime. Mecha, it is not. So I'm just going to say that right off the bat. Code Geass is not in my list of top 10 mecha anime. The Guren Mark II, on the other hand, is going to be on the mecha list, but I'm not saying whether it's in the numbers or in the honorable mentions, or ones I just could not put in the list. So I'm not saying anything about that. I will say that Zoids... Okay, here's the thing. Zoids, they're born. I'm sorry, but Zoids are organic. They are sentient. Some of them are built, like the Lightning Shanks and the Shadow Fox. But overall, a Zoid is born. Like the Genocyber, the Blade Liger, the Shield Liger, they're born. And Zeke, an Organoid, an organic Zoid, they are born. So I cannot class them as mecha. They are machines, but not mecha. It's like Jones 5, he's alive. I had to say that. Yes, I had to say that. Oh god. But yeah, those two I cannot put on the list. I just can't. I can't even add a Zoid to the mecha list because it's not a mecha. It's a machine, but it's an organic. I can't add it. That goes for Evangelion as well. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy Eva. I really do. The ending is fucking messed up. Literally, it is messed up. Just forget all logic about it. But the Evangelions themselves, Eva units, they're clones. They are organic. Now, you may say, what about Eva Unit 2? I'm sorry, when part of that though was eaten, there were organs inside that thing. There was blood, there was a stomach, there was an intestine, there was a heart, there was a brain. Just because it was built does not mean it's not organic. None of the Evas I can put on the list because they're organic. They aren't mecha. At first glance you think, oh my god, it's an awesome mecha. But no. Look at them, they're not mecha. Now, here's another thing. Medabots, that is classed as a mecha anime. But, here's the thing, I'm not saying whether it is or is not on the list, but I will say it is kind of hard to actually put it anywhere on a list, because the mecha in that are the size of a little child. So, normally when you think mecha, you think giant bloody robot, e.g. Megas XLR, which who may or may not be on the list. Just saying. But Medabots, or Medarot, as Japan has it, it's going to be hard to work with. It may or may not go on the list. I want it to go on the list because I enjoy Medabot like hell. I've got a whole bunch of 3D models of it. But I don't know if it's going to go on the list. I really don't know. Gurren Lagann. Oh boy. Yeah. I'm just going to say I have no fucking clue. I'm just going to say that because too much to go into. GaoGaiGar. Yeah, you're going to see that on the list one way or another. And when I say GaoGaiGar, I mean GaoFiGar and Genesis as well. But not GaoGaiGar. No. He was not in the anime. He was promoted in the little teaser, which never went anywhere. But he's not in the show, not in the manga, not in the OVA, so he has nothing to do with it. So, I'm not including that thing. And plus, look at it, it's horrendous. So, yeah, I ain't including it. And I'm not including Optimus Prime. I'm just going to say that right now. Optimus Prime, even that guy, there is a very high chance I will not be including any Transformers. Well, except for maybe Megatron, Starscream from Armada, and Snapchat. That's pretty much it. Cybertron Optimus Prime? Maybe. Keyword there. Maybe. But other than that, no Transformers. Not even BB. Not even BB. But that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. And, yeah. That is my Q&A. If you've got any more questions you want me to answer, just put them in the comments. If you have a question, just put it down in the comments and I will answer them in my next video. Alright? Just so you know, I will answer the questions. Just make them relevant. Alright? So, that is my Q&A. I am Wolf Knight 1. You are all humans, so I'm saying go and enjoy your Twinkie, because it's peace in the streets. Bye.